Okay, so pardon the cell phone video recording, but what I'm going to introduce is a system I'm working on called Hydra. So for context, I like working in Linux for lots of my computing, but I also game on Windows. So I have a couple systems here. Here's like a laptop running Windows, which is just acting as kind of a workstation at the moment. But then in here, I have a computer that's has a boatload of hard drives, lots of RAM, multiple video cards, which I've nicknamed Hydra. Hydra is running Ubuntu 20.04, and I'm setting up a system where it's a headless system, so I SSH into it, but then I'm passing through the GPU to a VM. So there's a video. So one of the video cards has a DisplayPort cable running to this monitor. It's slept right now. But what I have is so over here I'm going to show. Oh, just one second. Sorry, like I said, sorry about the webcam because I'm going to be showing something on multiple computers. But I have here. Oh, let's recover. Enter. Sure. Okay. So what I have here is a shell script which is going to start up a virtual machine using quemu and KVM, utilizing IO MMU. So that's where you can pass through IO devices to your virtual machine. So what I'm passing through is a GPU, the sound card on the GPU, as well as one of my NVMe hard drives. And the virtual machine is going to access those as though they're right native in the system. The reason why I'm doing this is because I want to be able to have a gaming computer, but then I can run it virtually so that if I have to migrate that virtual machine, that gaming computer, and any other VMs that I run, I get the advantage of them being virtualized, so I'm not tied to any particular hardware. I can move things around easy. I can also repurpose the entire machine, like it's acting as a storage server. I have microcrates running in it, which I'll talk about further another time. But so what I'm going to do is talk about an Ansible playbook I've set up to kind of get the dependencies installed in Ubuntu. It didn't actually take much. The new Ubuntu 20.04 has newer kernels, which require far less tinkering to get things working. So there's not a whole lot to do. It's a pretty small playbook for Ansible. And then what I'm going to do is, hang on a second. Okay, so I'm going to run this script. And so pay attention because this monitor is asleep, but it should wake up. Hang on, I did this last night and I'm doing this like live without Okay, spinning up. Let's watch the screen. Bam. So notice here, I don't have a keyboard hooked up. So what I did was, this is a video card passed. So this is coming off a video card signal. It's not like emulating any hardware in the virtual machine. The virtual machine gets true access to the hardware. And you can see here, so there's a couple virtual devices, like there's a, these are the CD-ROM drives for during the installation. Oh, sorry, that's a CD-ROM, that's a CD-ROM, but this here is a, that's a virtualized hard drive, but also look here, there's an NVMe drive directly on the PCI bus. And this is not virtualized. This is directly connected to the PCI bus through IOMMU. And the video card is outputting this directly. Like, this is not running through any sort of like virtualization of the video card. This virtual machine has the video card. So what that, and it's actually booting into UEFI. This was a bit of work to get going using EDK. So next step is I'll be able to install Windows on here. I can pass through one of my PCI controllers via PCI Express, or sorry, one of my USB controllers via PCIe, and then I'm not even like I can plug things in. It'll be basically as though I have multiple computers. Potentially, I could even set this up so that there's actually multiple people operating off the same computer, like 2 monitors, 2 sets of keyboards and mice, all the extra hardware that they might plug into the USB. Um, and so, yeah, what I'm going to be able to do is I can play games here and there when I want to on Windows. When I'm doing any other task, like if I like working in a Linux environment when doing software development, so I can actually run, for example, Ubuntu, Arch Linux, or Fedora, and get native video card access. So things will be like nice and zippy on like a nice ultra wide monitor with like high refresh rates, which is nice for reading text. 4K screen off the video card when editing instead of running that through a virtual machine like I would before with like poor performance because it actually has the video card access to the video card. I could do development on a 4K screen with nice text. But yeah, so this is where I got so far. I'm booting into I'm booting into a UEFI shell. This is actual video card output happening here, not like a virtualized screen. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy about this. This was my second go at this. Things got better now that there were newer kernel versions that have a lot of the patches that you used to have to put into the kernel before. Now there are newer kernel versions on the latest distributions. Almost everything's running 5.4 Linux kernel, so this is way easier than it used to be. But BIOS updates happened that made this easier, and so there's a lot of like following in the footprints of great people who make this possible. Yeah, I just wanted to share this. I think it's pretty cool. I'm excited. I'm stoked. I'm really stoked for when you can actually see like a Windows installer and boot into Windows. It's going to be great.